welcome to the midweek update, and this week's big news story so far is that For Honor, the game that came out in February of 2017, has lost 95% of its player base. On the surface, that sounds incredibly bad. However, a lot of people aren't looking into the deeper details of the story that's being circulated. The actual story here is that 95% of the players through the Steam version of For Honor have left the game and have stopped playing. That still leaves the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One versions of the game, as well as the PC version that's available through Uplay, so there probably are more people still playing For Honor than we are actually giving credit for while we are reading this news story, because it is a catchy headline, I must admit, although not entirely factual. Unfortunately, Ubisoft does not release numbers for their other versions of For Honor, and they don't release numbers in general after The Division completely flopped towards the middle of last year. However, it is worth noting that you can probably predict that the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Uplay versions of the game are seeing a similar kind of effect just because of the nature of For Honor and the fact that the game has completely dropped in anyone talking about it over the course of the past couple of weeks. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this, I would say, because they wanted to make For Honor something that it wasn't. The nature of the game, the fighting nature of the game, the setting of the game, it just doesn't lend itself to replayability over an extended period of time because it is very repetitive, but not in that same sense of a game like Overwatch, for example. For Honor is a game that you really have to sit down and practice night after night, week after week, to become proficient at the game, really, and to get the game to a point where it is fun to sit down and play it for an extended period of time, for a long period of time, if you understand what I'm saying there. However, if you look at a game like Overwatch, where just a year after its release it still has an incredible amount of people playing it, it has that same kind of practice to become better at the game, find a team that you can really dominate with. However, there's also a simplicity and accessibility that's built into that because everybody can play Overwatch. You don't have to be a skilled gamer to sit down and be good in a game of Overwatch. It's accessible to players of all skill levels, which is something that For Honor is greatly missing out on, and that's why a lot of people have simply left the game. You can't talk about For Honor, however, without talking about its lack of dedicated servers, which led to a ton of connectivity issues throughout the launch of the game that have been largely resolved. But if you missed the mark right off the bat, especially with a new franchise like this, you are going to lose a lot of your player base shortly after launch, and that's what we're seeing here with For Honor, and according to the community on Reddit, that's pretty much what ended up killing the game. So will For Honor end up making a comeback? Probably not. However, there is definitely going to be a dedicated fan base that is going to continue to support the game, especially since it is still releasing DLC just a couple of months after its release. How long will it be supported, however? We'll just have to see if it makes a comeback or has some kind of big sale or has some kind of impressive DLC that draws people back in, but as for right now, I'm not looking that hopeful. So that wraps it up for the midweek update. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you on Friday.